Hey, this is Talha, and that's Meryl, and we give you boat advice and tips on how to live aboard. And today we're going to be answering the key question: is it actually cheaper to live on a boat? So is it actually cheaper to live on a boat? There's so many things to think about. There's the slip fees, there's the materials, there's the maintenance, there's should I do it myself, should I hire somebody? So many things to think about.
So one of the more significant costs of living on a boat is the slip fees.
Usually.
When you go and you check out marinas, they're going to charge you by the foot.
Exactly.
Even if you travel to other places, you're still going to have to be paying a transient fee per foot. So the larger boat you have, the more you're going to have to spend.
A marina situation, paying by the foot, but you're paying for the entire season. And usually the season runs from, for example, the summer season runs from May 1st to November 1st.
A lot of the marinas that we've seen do upfront, you pay for the season. So you pay for the winter season or the summer season upfront. I haven't seen too many places that have a monthly type of rate. A lot of marinas are concerned about the people just hightailing it out right before the payment's over.
I think it's a legit concern as well at some level.
We know a lot of liveaboards here that are struggling with just trying to find a marina right now.
It depends on where you are and whether you need to be, especially if you're living on your boat, if you need to be close to a train station or a highway, or if you have a car, or if you don't have a car. Lots of those things will affect which marina you pick, and then or which area you're in, and that might influence how much you're paying for it.
Next thing you got is insurance, and I'm gonna say that insurance really isn't that bad. You agree with me on that?
In the greater scheme of things, for sure.
Yeah, so it's not that bad, and the more boating experience you have, the cheaper that rate will obviously be. And a lot of marinas require that you have a liability insurance, whether that's $100,000, $500,000, or $1 million.
So it sort of depends on which sort of insurance you get. Lots of marinas will require that you have damage insurance and this and that, but if you just went for like the collision variety, that's usually really cheap. But the first time you get insurance, that's when they're going to give you some grief. Lots of people will not give you insurance, so they're like, you've never had a boat, and you're like, but how am I supposed to get insurance? So it's definitely an uphill climb that way, but just initially.
Most hidden cost that you're going to run into is just maintenance for the boat. There's a reason why BOAT stands for Bust Out Another 1,000.
Bust out another 1,000.
So you're going to be running into all sorts of different tasks that the boat just gives you, and pretty much all of it is expensive. If you're going to try to hire someone to do it, I mean, forget about it. It's going to be a ton of money. But even if you go and try to do it yourself, just the materials alone are expensive.
The boat is going to present its own things for you. I mean, just in terms of maintenance, just because there are so many different systems, you might be, your plumbing might go out, your waste system might go out, your engines, God forbid, or your sails, they might go out. All of these things just like thousands of dollars. And so lots of times what you will want to do is just have preventative maintenance going on so that you don't fall into one of those traps where you have to fish out $20,000 to replace your engine, or pull out your entire plumbing system or your entire electrical system or something like that. So a lot of it is just going to be about good little fixes when they need to get fixed. Something's going wrong, because the marine environment is very, very corrosive with the salt around you. But try not to do Home Depot products. And I'm not putting Home Depot down in any way. It's because they're not really built for the ocean. So especially if it's outside or if it's below the water line or anything like that, worst idea in the world. But even if it's inside, you're really going to have to sort of pick your battles. I mean, you can have your appliances and this and that. They technically shouldn't get wet. But when you're putting caulking up or something like that, like just those products that are sort of Home Depot staples are not the best idea on a boat. So that means you have to get the marine version.
And that's expensive.
The engines. Because then, and it comes back to the maintenance thing, because I was like, I'm going to maintain these engines. On my older boat, I hadn't done that so much. I had, it's magic. I'll leave it at that. And then, but after that, when I got this one, I wanted to learn about them and be able to do it myself more than anything else. Just be self-sufficient. And so I took on the engines. I have two because it's a power boat. They're inboard. They're giant. They're basically truck engines. And that, I don't know if you can imagine this, but just sort of the maintenance. I didn't get new engines or anything, but just the maintenance went into thousands of dollars. And this, I was doing a lot of it myself. A friend of mine was helping me, but I wasn't paying a third party. It was just in terms of, again, the bigger engines, these are technical terms, but your risers and your manifolds, and each of those, just a pair will cost you $1,200. And what you can do sometimes, and it's almost a requirement every couple of years, is you either get your boat hauled out, and usually that's extra. It's up to almost $1,200. Sometimes you can find it cheaper, sometimes $500, but then it also gets sketchy, the marina and liability, and are they insured? And interesting questions come up. And so you can get it hauled out, but when you get it hauled out, again, you're supposed to, for example, bottom paint the whole thing. Just that paint, it's called anti-fouling paint or non-fouling paint, and that is toxic, which is why stuff doesn't grow on the bottom of the boat. And you're supposed to get that done every few years, mostly just so that you can go where you need to go faster. So sailboats or power boats definitely need that maintenance every few years. Houseboats, don't worry about it so much. Lots of times what you can do in the middle is you can call a diver over, and the diver will come and scrub it down between years, for example. And that's usually cheaper. He'll also replace the zinc sacrificial pieces of metal so that they get eaten and your actual good shafts and props and all of that doesn't get touched. So you're supposed to replace that as frequently as it goes away.
If you do take the boat out, another expense is going to be fueling it up, diesel or gas. And on a sailboat, I have a fairly small engine, but I use about 90 gallons twice a year. So I have to fill up my tanks twice a year. So it's decently expensive when it's 90 gallons. But I mean,
okay, so let me tell you a story that he's getting off easy, okay? My tanks are much bigger, all right? The joke is that it's the best way to sort of watch your money just disappear right in front of you, the way it just, and there's 175 gallons on each side. There's two of them, so it's designed for longer hauls, and I don't have sails the way this guy does. But yeah, if you're filling up a power boat, you are definitely going to feel it. A lot of it is going to come down to how much you end up using the boat, but when you're filling up almost like 300 gallons worth of gas, that definitely adds up.
On a sailboat, you still have to take care of sails, and sails aren't cheap. So if you get a boat that has bad sails and they're going to have to be replaced soon, you're going to be dropping a few thousand.
So basically, I guess what it all comes down to is that whenever you are getting something that has marine attached to it, even if you're just buying it off Amazon, it's usually going to be more expensive. Just for the marine version, you could buy caulking that you use on the side of your house, but the boat version would be 3 times more expensive. And it's just usually those small things. And then the labor works the same way, is that a normal electrician, I remember when I was trying to get my solar hooked up, none of the house electricians would come and look at the solar on my boat because they're like, it's a boat, we have no idea. And I literally went through 6 electricians before I finally found somebody willing to come and help me. And that basically then was a marine electrician, and automatically more expensive.
So I hope this video turned you away from deciding to live on a boat for how expensive it is.
It's not that expensive. It's not. Seriously, when you put everything together, it would almost be as expensive as owning your own house or spending on whatever it took to fix your own house. I think they're comparable, and there are many ways on a boat that you could just move over to another state and just have the boat that you like and just pay 1/5 of the price if that's what you wanted.
Yeah, and just think, your house has a name, and only fancy houses have names.
Let us know what we can help you with, and best of luck on your own liveaboard adventures. See you next time.
Like and subscribe somewhere up here or here.